You can listen to both sides of the story on the Gleaner's site, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or novex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven.
Let's drink to the hard-working people, and let's drink to the lonely of birth. Raise your glass to the good and the evil. Let's drink to the salt of the earth. Say a prayer for the common foot soldier. Spare a thought for his back-breaking word. Say a prayer for his wife and his children, who burn the fire and who kill till the end. And when I search, my face was fire. I can see a swirling mass of blaze. All I can tell you about it, black and white. But you know they don't look real to me, no. In fact, they look so strange. Yeah, oh yeah. Raise your glass to the hard-working people. Let's drink to the uncounted. Let's think of the wandering millions who need leaders but get cameras instead. Yeah. When I search, my face is crying. Oh yeah. I can still see a memory brain. Yes, I can right now. Black and white. Oh, they don't look real to me, no, they don't. In fact, they look so strange. Yeah. Oh. Let's drink to the hard-working people. Let's drink of the lonely of birth.
It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 23rd day of the 6th month of 2023, the International Year of Millets. A millet is a cereal grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. Put another way, it's the 23rd day of the first month of the 2023 North Atlantic hurricane season in this Disaster Risk Reduction Month, Road Safety Awareness Month, Brides Month, and Pride Month. In the United States, it's National Immigrant Heritage Month, National Caribbean American Heritage Month, and Caribbean Cuisine Month. Still in the US, June is being observed as Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, Cataract Awareness Month, Myasthenia Gravis Awareness Month, Aphasia Awareness Month, Congenital Cytomegalovirus Awareness Month, Migraine and Headache Awareness Month, National Safety Month, Scleroderma Awareness Month, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, PTSD Awareness Month, Scoliosis Awareness Month, and Men's Health Month. It's the 5th day of Caribbean American Legislative Week, Helen Keller Deaf Blind Awareness Week, and Productivity Week here in Jamaica. The Grand Duke's birthday is being celebrated in Luxembourg. It's Independence Day in Jura, Jonines or Summer Solstice Night in Lithuania, Ligo Day in Latvia, the Midsummer Party is on in Denmark, it's Victory Day in Estonia, and Jonsok Sankthansaften or Midsummer's Eve in Norway. It's International Widows Day. Hoy es viernes el 23 de junio 2023 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est vendredi le 23 juin 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Friday, the 23rd of June, 2023, And we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I can still see a mountain plane. Yes, I can right now. Black and white. Oh, they don't look real to me, no, they don't. In fact, they look so strange. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, to the hard-working people.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0331 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. There's more after the break.
Back-breaking word.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Calling all proud Jamaicans. Submit your nominees for the Aja Glena Honor Awards today. Help us recognize the exceptional people, groups, and organizations who were an inspiration to you in 2022 in 9 amazing categories. Shine the spotlight on those who truly inspire you. From the educators who've shaped young minds, to the entrepreneurs and businesses who drive our economy forward, and so much more. Highlight the incredible individuals who make our island great. To nominate, visit go-jamaica.com/honor-awards-nominations or follow Jamaica Glena via Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or see the press for details. Nominations end June 30, 2023.
Black and white, but you know they don't look real to me, no. In fact, they look so strange, yeah, well, yeah, oh, yeah. Raise your glass to the hard-working people.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. What's on your mind this afternoon? Please feel free to share. Good afternoon to Donovan Campbell. He says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Thank God for life. Good afternoon, Donovan. Charles James says, hi, Dervan. When the higher-ups in the PNP going to wise up and dismiss John 89 from the party and forbid him to speak publicly on the party's behalf? It doesn't reflect well on the party. Well, it's a choice that is made by the leadership of the party, whether to continue to allow particular individuals to speak for the party, or those who are not accredited to speak on behalf of the party. How they deal with that going forward remains to be seen. But they might very well think that he's not doing any harm to the party, and therefore they'll continue to if whether tacitly or otherwise, acknowledge him for his work in keeping the party message in the public domain. So the choice is up to the decision makers in that regard, including those who purport to speak on behalf of or for or in the name of their beloved party. I don't know if that answers your question, Charles James, but it is what it is, and it's not going to change anytime soon. People gravitate towards a particular party, and they do their best to help their party to win or to get the upper hand in a debate or a discussion or an argument. And then everybody feels good. Alexander Taylor on Facebook Live says, greetings, my dear friend Dervan from Kingston, Jamaica. Greetings to you too, Alexander Taylor. Randy Williams says, hi, Dervan. The app is not working. Thanks. We're sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that the app is not working. Let's see. See if we can bring it up here. If I were a listener, perhaps I would have stopped listening a long time ago. Because the last thing you want is to be impeded from listening to your favorite program or personality. And then all you're getting is zero, zilch, nada, nothing. Says it's loading, but nothing is loading at the moment. So that's that. So the app is down. Over to the engineers. Let's see who else is messaging us. Jacqueline Simmons, good afternoon. Sophia Nemard, thank you for joining us as well. Good to have you on board. And we'd also like to take this opportunity to salute and celebrate a particular family, the Dorman family, D-O-R-M-A-N. They are on their annual mission. The Caring is Sharing charity, benefiting communities in the Whitfield town area and surrounding areas. It's also coinciding with the twinning of the Whitfield Town Church of God 95th anniversary celebration, and the launch of the Leela M. Dorman Caring is Sharing charity. They started outreach in the community on Tuesday with dental treatments for 26 students and 2 teachers from Whitfield Primary and Infant School. And the work continues. One of the most famous citizens of that area or residents of that area is the U.S. ambassador to Jamaica. He used to run up and down in Rosetown, Whitfield Town, and surrounding areas. He is now America's ambassador to Jamaica. That's no mean feat. And that's something to be proud of, notwithstanding the issues that still need to be dealt with, not just in those communities, but other communities across the country. We give thanks for small mercies. So Ambassador Perry was in attendance at the official ceremony for the Dorman family, under the umbrella of the Caring is Sharing charity. So we wish them well. Quite a number of people have benefited already, and we would love to see more of this in other communities across the country. So all the best, Ambassador Nick Perry. All the very best. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-411225. Here's a call coming through on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
How are you this afternoon?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
Very well, thank you. Good afternoon to the team. Good afternoon to your listeners here and abroad. Let me wish for you and the team and all your listeners and callers all the very best for the weekend period. I wish to make some recommendations and suggestions pertaining to the significant crime problem that exists within Jamaica, but even more so affecting St. James and Western Jamaica. The first one, the parish of St. James has the most numbers of well-connected, well-structured, well-funded criminal gangs, vulgarly operating with rampant impunity, numbering at the last count 21 gangs which are involved in murders, drug trading, lottery scamming.
But if we know the number and we know the names of these gangs and indeed the whereabouts of these gangs, why haven't we moved in on them?
That is the question which to be answered. Now, they are involved also in money laundering and murder for hitmen. I am proposing that the priority should be for a specially vetted and specially selected police army team established in St. James with the aim to dismantle these 21 seriously organized criminal gangs. And the special team would comprise officers from the Military Intelligence Unit, from the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, from MOCA and from MOCA West, and from the National Intelligence Bureau. It is very important for this special team to be formed and put into operation to dismantle these high-value criminal gangs in St. James, gather the required evidence, arrest them, have been convicted in court. These gangs have been operating with impunity for over the past 2 years. Not one of them have been held. And that is why the crime rate in St. James and across Western Jamaica is escalating out of control. Secondly, place some detectives and special agents from MOCA and the Military Intelligence Unit incognito into the Customs Agency of Jamaica and at the wharves. Place them as regular employees and allow them to gather the necessary intelligence as to the criminal masterminds and drug barons who are bringing in thousands of kilograms of cocaine and illegal guns and ammunition into Jamaica. Find them and extricate them from the criminal underworld and have them convicted in court. There are currently several allegations within the media from time to time that there are also persons who are employed to the customs agency who are allegedly involved in organized crime.
Well, whoever has that information needs to come forward. We're tired of people just mouthing things and regurgitating things as opposed to taking palpable steps in order to play a part in the fight against crime.
Yes, but it is very, people are sometimes reluctant to report these matters to the regular police station.
Yes, but and what's the reason for that?
Well, over many years, it is well established, and it is a known fact that sometimes when persons take information to the regular police station, that the information is oftentimes, or at least sometimes, taken back to the criminals.
Well, in that case, let's remind our people that we have the award-winning Crime Stop. Never mind the numbers in Jamaica. Jamaica has an award-winning Crime Stop program, which is replicated in other countries in the world. They came to Jamaica, studied Jamaica Crime Stop initiative, and they are now doing it in their countries. There are also people of confidence, or people you can take into your confidence to share information with. As bad as things are, we still have men and women, or fair share of men and women of integrity in Jamaica.
That is quite so, Dervan. Expand the major organized and anti-corruption MOCA West office in Montego Bay. Increase the number of special agents assigned to Montego Bay to at least 40 agents. Amend the MOCA Act and the MOCA West Act to give full police powers to all special agents assigned to MOCA and MOCA West.
One moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:31 on Power 106.
Education plays a critical role in the lives of our young people. At the American Foundation for the University of the West Indies, we ensure financially challenged students across the Caribbean are given increased access to higher education so they can continue to transform their lives and the lives of others. Support our mission in shaping the lives of our future leaders. Donate to educate. Contact our office at 212-759-9345 for more details.
Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for the feature Hyper Food Independence. Hypro Food Independence will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal husbandry, agronomy, and more. That's Hypro Food Independence, every second and third Tuesday from 6:18 to 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. Hypro Food Independence is sponsored by Hypro.
Evil, let's drink to the south of the air.
Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Thank you very much, Dervan. Expand MOCA's cybercrime unit in Kingston so as to enable the cybercrime unit to be brought up to international standards, and MOCA should seek the assistance of the FBI cybercrime unit to come to Jamaica to seek to expand and adequately equip MOCA's cybercrime unit. MOCA cybercrime unit operates independently of the Jamaica Constabulary Forces cybercrime unit, which falls under CTOC.
And it was reinforced this morning at the ceremony in Whitfield Town,
Yes.
that the United States government remains committed to supporting Jamaica's efforts in the fight against crime.
Yes, which is commendable. There are also United States operatives incognito in Jamaica working with law enforcement agencies to seek to have some tangible reduction in the guns, ammunition, and drugs being imported into Jamaica. Now, after these gangs are dealt with in St. James, the 21 of them, I am recommending that the security forces proceed to the other western parishes, Clarendon, St. Catherine, and Kingston, and proceed to deal with those gangs there.
It sounds like you put Clarendon in the wrong place. You said west don't work with Clarendon. Clarendon is more central Jamaica.
Right. What I meant was said, after the gangs are dealt with in St. James and in the other western parishes, then we proceed to Clarendon, St. Catherine, and Kingston.
Okay.
Establish a new, modern, equipped, and well-staffed narcotics police branch building in Montego Bay. The narcotics police in Montego Bay needs a building for themselves, which is secured and which is not in tandem with other police agencies. That is not the case presently. And have more narcotics agents in St. James placed at different locations to make much more inroads into the high drug trading situation in St. James. Expand and technologically equip the Jamaica Constabulary Forces National Intelligence Bureau with much more resources and equipment which they can receive from the United States, and allocate much more resources to the various divisional intelligence units in each parish across Jamaica. Purchase at least 20 highly equipped go-fast boats and police marine boats to allow for 24-hour monitoring.
We've been buying boats for a long time now, and I'm not sure we have seen the benefits of these vessels in any consistent way.
Yes, and they're also still short-staffed, and they are still, some of these boats which they have are not in operation presently. So we need 24 monitoring of the island's coastlines, Dervan.
24-hour monitoring.
24-hour, yes. Specially vet all applicants for the position of air traffic controllers at the island's 2 international airports, and allow MOCA and MOCA West to do comprehensive security background checks on them before they are employed. And also
that is not or has not been done before?
That is not being done and has never been done. And
really?
Also to have...
What's the source of your information?
That is what I am told. That Mocha no Mocha West.
Remember, as my late mother would say, mouth make for turn crossway, make for say anything, you know. So anybody can say anything.
Okay, let me see from my informed sources what I have been informed. I stand corrected, but what I have been informed that Mocha West have not in the past done any comprehensive security background checks on applicants for the position of air traffic controllers, and I'm calling for that to be done, and also contemporaneously for some monitoring of them while they are on employment. There are various allegations pertaining to that issue. Bring the overall staff complement of the JCF to at least 15,000 officers. That needs to be done at a faster rate. Increase by 200 percentage points the monetary fines and terms of imprisonment for all convicted lottery scammers and cybercrime criminals, and expand by 100% manpower the lottery scamming task force based in Montego Bay within CTOC. Lottery scamming and cybercrimes are out of control in Jamaica, especially within...
I don't get that impression. My impression is that with the United States are fully, the United States, the relevant U.S. department is on board with the Jamaican security services,
yes,
and have made some serious inroads in terms of the fight against narcotics and illegal drugs in general.
That is, I'm referring here to lottery scamming and cybercrime. There is not much inroads in arresting the masterminds of persons in Jamaica who are working with overseas Jamaicans.
That's my understanding. Well, quite a few of them have been sent to prison, and others are to come.
Yes, but there are still some major masterminds in St. James and other areas that are involved with lottery scamming and cybercrime, as it relates to the gun trading and the...
So it means we need some help from those people, because people would know if it's still going on at a certain level. Yes. Our people are not very good at hiding wealth, or when they come into money. It with the relevant tools, it can be traced, and these people can be found out and brought to justice.
Yes.
But if people who know continue to sit on their mouths, then it will take a little longer time to deal with to cauterize or grab this problem by the scruff of the neck.
It is not easy as that.
Why not?
It's much more the issue of lottery scamming, cybercrime, drug trading, and guns and ammunition trading in Jamaica. Complex is involved.
What is the source of the complexity?
Some of those persons who are bringing in the tons of cocaine into Jamaica and who are importing these guns and ammunition into Jamaica, some of them, Dervan, are highly connected, highly protected.
No, well, we need to stop this foolishness about highly connected. We really need to stop it. It's either you are pursuing lawfulness or lawlessness, quite frankly. Yeah. And those who are engaged in lawlessness need to be dealt with the way lawlessness is to be dealt with.
Yes.
But we need to stop this thing about people in high places. If we know who they are and where they are, so whatever happened to the witness protection program in Jamaica, which has never, ever been breached, in spite of some people trying to erroneously say that there have been breaches? As far as we know, it has not been breached. There's a witness protection program, and the country has benefited from the willingness of these individuals to share information that can put away whichever person, whether high or low, put them away as they should be.
Let me give an example. Some time ago, two former senior intelligence officers from Jamaican background did a comprehensive study and gathering of intelligence from where they are on Jamaica, and they published a report that the major masterminds involved in drug trading in Jamaica and importation of guns and ammunition. Information was presented to an agency in Jamaica. Nothing was done, and it is well known, based on what they said, that some of the reasons why these masterminds involving billions of dollars at their disposal, why the drug trading, the illegal importation of guns and ammunition continue to escalate. When the security forces go to the airport, they are held, no one is held. It's because it involves...
But if we know all of this, then some of those very people are themselves supposed to be held and taken in. In other words, it can't be that all of us know so much about these drug people and who live here and who is in high places and who has connections. How can we have all of that information turning around in our mouths like toothpaste, and no move towards dealing with these people once and for all? Well, everybody is afraid.
Because Jamaica is highly corrupt in all areas. That is why those two senior retired intelligence officers expressed frustration because they provided the information to Jamaica and absolutely nothing was done. And it is their view that the persons involved in serious organized crime in Jamaica is being protected by highly connected persons. They are well connected. And
we cannot continue like this. That's the point we're making. We cannot have states within a state. It's one state, the state of Jamaica. And we keep coming up with this thing, who can't do because this is who and who knows who and all of that. We need to break up this folly ground, as the expression goes. This is madness. We can't be serious.
But it cannot be dealt with. It won't be dealt with until there is the political and security will to deal with it, and the corruption is weeded out from those areas that are hampering these masterminds from being held.
Well, maybe we need to seek help from sources that don't have a vested interest. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. Need water for agricultural purposes? Apply to the National Irrigation Commission for your irrigation services. Let's grow smart and eat smart with irrigated agriculture. Call National Irrigation Commission at 876-927-6727. Visit their website at www.nicjamaica.com or visit any of their office locations today. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
So let's enlist the support of the United States government once again. They have helped and supported us in the past. And as I said up to this morning, the U.S. ambassador to Jamaica was making it very clear that America continues to play her part in the field of safety and security in Jamaica.
Yes, but if they do not get the cooperation of the local, all the authorities involved, then things will only continue to get worse.
Well, if we keep finding a problem for every solution, then we will continue going around in circles.
Yes. Implement a 3-month state of emergency within the parish of St. James to allow the broad latitude for the especially established team to go after these gangs. When customers of Digital and Flow discover the cloning of their SIM cards, identity theft issues, or the hacking of their Wi-Fi modem, the procedure should be The customer calls either flow or digital, report the matter, have digital or flow provide the customer with a letter stating the issue and issues, and then the customer goes to CTOC Cybercrime Unit or goes to MOCA. It is currently the other way around, and this needs to change. Utilize more police-trained dogs for the detection of illegal guns, drugs, and ammunition in various locations to which they are searching for. And I think that the police force, based on what I'm told, that they still need additional motor vehicles, but I commend Minister Chang for a number of new motor vehicles have been purchased, but they're still not up to the adequate fleet complement. And firmly apply the Proceeds of Crime Act to all convicted drug barons, scammers, and gang leaders. The major organized and anti-corruption agency, MOCA, under the leadership of Colonel Desmond Edwards, recently established the MOCA tip line. But there needs to be some changes. The MOCA tip line is linked directly to Crime Stop. I am recommending, and I've already written to Colonel Edwards about it, that the MOCA tip line Dervan should be fully independent. When persons call the MOCA tip line, it should go straight to the MOCA office in Kingston or St. James. It should not be linked to Crime Stop, because they could be, MOCA is an independent agency. It has no legal or lawful connection now in terms of operation with the police force. So I think the MOCA tip line should be channeled directly into the MOCA office and extricated from Crime Stop. The issue of illegal guns and drugs entering Jamaica each month, I am hoping that Minister Chang, who made this revelation in Parliament on more than one occasion, that he will seek to plug those areas where they are coming in, apart from the airports and the war.
This is what we need to do. We have enough information, more than enough data, more than enough intelligence to be able to strategically and surgically approach these matters. We keep saying the same things over and over. We have this number of gangs. These are the areas we're monitoring, etc., over and over and over and over again, as opposed to just doing what needs to be done.
Yes. The 21 notorious criminal gangs which are operating in St. James with impunity for a number of years.
And this is what I'm saying. I don't want to hear that. Because that doesn't, we've been hearing all of this over and over and over again. If we know that there are 21 gangs, let us go and deal with the 21 gangs.
Yes. Recently, Dervan, there was a police army operation carried out at a house in St. James. I'm speaking God now. There was a police army operation took place at the house in St. James where lottery scamming, cyber crimes, and drug trading activities were taking place. The police and the army went there. They stood outside the yard, did not search the property. No equipment were had. And then they went back and reported to their superior officers that the house was thoroughly searched and no devices were held.
Well, no, but seriously, no. You need witness protection. Because if you have all of that information, you should be on a witness protection program so that you can feed the security personnel with that information so they can pursue what needs to be pursued, rather than you basically telling us that a team surrounded or were outside the yard of this particular house. And clearly you're suggesting that it's known that there's contraband inside, and now we're hearing this after the fact. It's unfortunate.
The reason why I publicly raised this issue with you, such a serious situation, and it was not dealt with, and misinformation was given back to the superior officers. Clearly, some alleged corruption was involved. The reason why I raise this issue, important issue with you, is to demonstrate to you powerfully how corruption is involved within certain section of the force and within the drug and lottery scamming areas. So unless the corruption is weeded out, Dervan, some time ago,
well, if the people continue to do what the people have always done, then the people will get what they have always got.
Would you expect the police and the army to carry out the operation at a lottery scamming and drug trading house? Didn't search the house, didn't enter the house, didn't seize anything.
And I'm saying to you, I don't want to hear it at this stage because the information is compromised by now. That kind of information, if we're serious about our country and playing our part in providing a safer and more secure country, we would take the information that we have and call out the people we need to call out and point out who we need to point out and bring on identification parade who we need to bring on identification parade. It's no use that we can only on our verandas or on social media and we can talk about, a certain person who had done this and who didn't do that and who have a house with drugs in it and all of that. It doesn't help us after the fact.
But with the greatest of respect for you, Dervan, the reality on the ground, broadly speaking, I am being audacious here, pardon me. You are well aware that corruption is hindering significantly the investigation and apprehension of persons who are involved in serious organized crime in Jamaica. That is the reality.
And the solution is to keep our hands tied behind our backs while certain people if and butting, as Ernie Smith sings in one of his songs.
The solution is to ensure that we have as corrupt-free police and army that we can have trained detectives and have the citizens being fearless in giving the information to the areas where they can or should and persisting, insistently ensuring that these crimes are dealt with. So I agree with you. A part of the problem has to do with citizens refusing to take action and to report these activities and to follow up to ensure that these issues are dealt with. But I'm happy that Minister Chan has announced these states of public emergency. I am hoping that they can be extended, and let us hope that a crime summit can be held with.
Please. A crime summit. Haven't we had a few of those already?
Well, let us hope that this one, which is held in St. James, which the business leaders are calling for, with Minister Chang and possibly the Prime Minister, that some positive results can be had. The reasons why they are calling for a crime summit, Dervan, is based on the dangerous situation here in St. James, which seems to be
it can't be more dangerous than it used to be. From the days of 300 plus murders, we're now at just under 100?
Well, since the start of the year, some 95 persons have been murdered in St. James.
Exactly.
And I think approximately 45 in the parish of Hanover. But Dervan, without the full unity of the government, along with the people and the law enforcement agencies, nothing will be done. And there has to be the political will, Dervan. Without the political will and the following up by the citizens, nothing tangible will happen. But I think it's a national disgrace. The stage at which the crime, the murder, and all these different categories of crime have reached, I do not know how it's going to be dealt with significantly all at once, but a start has to be made, and I'm hoping that the discussion will continue. Thank you so much, as usual, Dervan, for taking my call. Always a privilege and a pleasure speaking to you. All the best to you and to your listeners.
To you too. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Why, this gentleman, he said it all, man.
That means there's no more for you to say then. So
Well, well, to be honest with you, Mr. Malcolm,
there's a lot of wind where you are. There's a lot of wind where you are.
Well, I'm into an industrial here, but I just go inside. In that, in Jamaica, you have to be 100% careful.
The problem is, in Jamaica, in terms we talk about back, we keep backing away, back. And as we are backing away, we are ceding territory. We are ceding grounds to those who mean this country no good, because we keep backing away. Everybody a back. That's a big part of the problem.
Yes, because I don't think we have anything expensive.
You sound a little unfit though, Zimbabwe. There's a lot of breathing.
All right. Listen now.
Mm-hmm.
The environment is so polluted that I couldn't tell you last I see a blue sky.
Maybe looking in the wrong places to find a blue sky.
You see, you are working in the Iron City, right?
No, it has nothing to do with that. There are blue skies every day.
Oh. But Mr. Malcolm, as the gentleman was saying about the crime, we'd love to see it go down, It right now, I feel more than one time as if I'm crippled. Not in the sense that I
Please, we don't use that expression anymore, eh? I talk about physically disabled. We don't use that other word you just used a while ago.
Right. Well, locally. But what I'm saying now is just that we in Jamaica here have to come together and see how best we can get a grip of this crime situation, because it's not helping us, Mr. Malcolm. And every day you hear people dropping all over the place, dying and such like. And I don't know if I pride casting it, why we're not getting to it or what. Because to me, I believe that we need outside help.
One moment, please. We have tried that, haven't we? To the point of, well, let me not go beyond that, but we have tried that. Go ahead.
Builders contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock. Looking to take your agricultural business to the next level? New growth opportunities are here with the Development Bank of Jamaica. Small farmers, agri-processors, and all MSMEs in the agriculture sector can access up to $30 million in loans. Visit us at www.dbankjm.com or send us a WhatsApp text message at 876-371-3830 to find out about our agri-based loans. Conditions apply.
Tell a farmer, tell a friend, let the EBJ have some for them. All right, we are trying to build back better. To the uncounted.
Yes, Zimbabwe.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, I said to a young one recently, I never see you buy the Gleaner and reading the Gleaner or the Mirror. You know what the young man said to me? It don't make no sense, because if he even reading, I believe, because he ain't did it. And the only time he going to believe anything, he have to do and see. No, when you
well, all we can say to that is nothing is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity.
Right. And then he began to tell me about how high witness, powerful, because once the person say, well, in using eyes and feet, you can't get away.
Yeah,
so
but you are perpetuating that kind of thinking right now by bringing it here.
No, man, it's just word speaking. I've say, what the answer when gives to me. I mean, I say, well, if a young people only hope no much more, I'm not think like that. Because
people are free. People are free to think. People are free to think whatever they want to think.
That's what I'm saying.
But the extent,
this is dangerous.
Yeah, the extent to which now we are magnifying that by bringing it on air, I don't know if that helps us at all.
Well, let's leave that now. But this is the state of emergency. I say it once. My argument, I don't, if they even want to put it on at least once, 6 or 7 years, see, clean up even one murder, right? I don't have a problem with it. Because let me tell you something. All the help Jamaica need right now, we need all the help to clean up crime in this country. And if we have to go outside, let us go there. It can't be Jamaica is so
Yeah,
small.
but we have done that. We've been there, done that.
We cannot stop trying. We can't stop trying.
Yeah, but if we're
stop
doing
trying
the
because we still
same
have the
things,
problem.
we're doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. It doesn't make any sense. There has to be some change in the process, the system, the approach, the strategy, the technique, the practice.
Mr. Malcolm, it's hard, man. When you're out in the rural area and you hear the different things them happening, and you say to yourself, my God, look at Black River. The first parish you get electric light, or to get light. And when you hear 9 prisoners, 8 prisoners break out of a central...
Is that somebody trying to annoy you or to annoy us with the horn? What a horny country this is. I don't know how we love the horns so much.
I tell you, they just enter traffic and they just keep blowing. Here's Mr. Malcolm, a place like Black River, you know, a place that we go a lot of times. And may I say, prisoners keep breaking out in Jamaica all over the place. And I don't see the difference.
I don't think we can, you know, I find horns quite annoying, quite frankly, and I'm not sure how much more of it I can listen to based on where you are and we're talking with you and the horns are coming through.
Let me wrap up now.
Please.
So what I'm saying, Mr. Malcolm, I would love to see both governments come together and see the best solution they can come forward with. You know, in other words, to help with this crime and violence situation in this country. Because we can't stand it no more, Mr. Malcolm. It is very, very bad. I don't know if it's the mindset of the people or what. But to me, we need outside help.
All right, you've said that a million times already. We hear you.
We need some outside help, and I'm begging. And it don't make no sense. We sit around and think we don't need help. We need help. And anywhere it can come from, make it come. And state of emergency, if you can stay there for 16 years, I don't have a problem with it. Once you can clean up even one crime.
We hear you. Thank you. Take care. Let's go to another call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's raining here.
Where is it raining?
In Florida.
Where in Florida are you?
I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Mac.
I know.
Yeah, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
I see.
You know, ironic, it's funny that gentleman you're talking to, Zimbabwe, I happened to know him when I was going to school. And he always treated me nice when I was going to school, when I was in Jamaica.
Yeah, I actually met him some time ago upstairs, one of those plazas in Montego Bay, in his what do you call that kind of shirt? A floral, lots of flowers, floral shirt.
Yes,
Mm.
yes.
Mm.
But the thing with you, you and I, we agree and we disagree. But I want to tell the Jamaican people that if you were here in Florida, you would have been qualified for any radio station job, to working at the police station.
All right, you need to stop that now and just go ahead to the topic, please.
No, because you come with the requisite skill.
You're too kind.
And I say that about the Jamaican, and I say that to say this about the Jamaican Prime Minister. I was listening to his definition of job description for members of parliament, but I don't see any job description for him as Prime Minister or future Prime Minister, whether you're appointed or you're being elected. And so we need to have a job description. Because I work for one of the 500 companies. And I went to 3 different interviews. And I had to have my ducks in a row. I bring it down to the Jamaican people who don't understand. I have to have it in sequence.
And my youngest supervisor, I think he's in their 20s and 30s. And I say, this 500 company, the Jamaican Prime Minister would not be qualified to be the CEO for this company that I work for. He doesn't have the requisite skill. Listening to him, how he reasons, how he articulates, how we come across the wider society of the Jamaican people. So I'm saying to him, if you're going to Parliament to do that, this job description, don't come with it as some scapegoat. What you put out is nonsensical. If you live in a country where there's a fight for
What makes it nonsensical? Give us some more.
If you live in a country
Mm-hmm.
where there's a fight for state benefits and political spoil, and it's carried on by hostile tribe, MP can have their constituency office. But MP must have, because the word MP means members of parliament, and you're a servant of the people. You've been elected, you work for the people. It must be different from your constituency office.
Oh yes.
And you must have civil servants work into your constituency, into the members of parliament office. And no green or red can be in that office. That would be a violation under the Civil Servant Act.
Sounds good, except that because of how we have so dishonored the constituency office over the years, that what we continue, we're still at the situation, as you said, with the tribes, the hostile tribes, unfortunately, and it's deep seated. It's so entrenched that I don't think we will ever, well, not in my lifetime. I really don't think we will ever see that, quite frankly. We can try, but it is deeply, deeply, deeply entrenched.
My senator lives in Miami, and I am 6 hours away from Miami. And I want to contact my senator, go by the email. My senator responds to me. When my senator goes to the Senate, which is the U.S. Capitol, it is 100 senators sits in the House, if my math tells me right.
Mm-hmm.
And when my senator wants project to be done, it go before the committee. And when it comes out of the committee...
Which committee is that?
The Banking Committee of the United States Senate. And
the Banking Committee?
Yes, has to go to... Bernie Sanders used to be the chairman. I don't think it is easier anymore. He has to go to the banking... He has to go to the Budget Committee.
Oh.
And when all is said and done, because Florida is a large city, is a large state, we have 2 senators, so we get a big pie. So the state with the 1 senator get a less pie. So I say that to say this. If you're going to have these job descriptions for members of parliament, then they will have to put up their budget, and then it goes to a select committee, and then you cut out the fight for state benefit and spoils. So the St. Catherine, where I spend most of my time, I don't remember how many senators they have in St. Catherine. So they would get larger of the pie. Hanover would get less pie because you have East and West. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the way we have to go. And each members of parliament, by law, would have staff their office. And these staff come from the government service. And these staff work in their office. And these staff are not beholden tied to the parliament period. So if you're going to come with a job description, these are the things that you must put on the table and outline to me and said, Mac, this is the new way we are moving Jamaica. And then we will see a brighter future at the end of the day. But what he put on the table, it is kindergarten essay.
So give us a little more as to what should be put on the table then. What would give you confidence? And what would make it make sense other than the nonsense you refer to?
What would put on the table? First of all, the ethics behavior of members of parliament. Your ethics behavior would have to come into account. That means whether you're out of parliament and in your constituency, you have to abide by the ethics rules and regulations. And secondly, each member of parliament would be independent, not be running behind the minister to get funds to do this. Each member of parliament
sounds like you should be one of those contributing to the constitutional reform group.
And I tried because I love Jamaica. I don't have a birth certificate of Jamaica, but I'm a citizen of Jamaica. That's the last time I look at my citizen document. I'm a citizen of Jamaica. I remember the days when I was going to school in Jamaica. I used to walk on the train line. When the train coming, I have to jump off the train line. So once you do that, then you're heading Jamaica into the right direction. No more running behind any ministers of government. Those days will be over. And your prime minister will have to sit a written test to see if he is qualified, if he's competent to do the job, whether he's going to be appointed or be elected. If you don't have those benchmarks within law, within the framework of the Constitution, doesn't matter how much MP you have, you will have to sit before an independent panel and go through a written test.
After the break, let's talk about that, because if we're talking about a democracy where people are free and anybody, as long as they meet the fit and proper terms, can in fact step forward to represent their country, whether at the constituency level, the divisional level, or otherwise. Otherwise, we're discriminating, aren't we? One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration, known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
For the common foot soldier.
So it seems to me that what we should be looking at or talking about is the enhancing our human capital. What we should be talking about is equipping our people with the necessary tools that are key in personal and professional development. In other words, when we do that, then the pool would be so vast. The pool would be so vast that most of the people who are brought in at the level where they're seeking seeking to engage in representative or representational politics would be, we wouldn't need to have what you're suggesting, a written test and that kind of thing, because the human capital would be so developed that our people would be armed with the tools, the requisite tools and know-how in order to effectively function in any environment in any country anywhere in the world because they have the universally accepted tools.
You hit the nail on the point. And we are saying, if I disagree with Dervan, it's not about personality. It's not about whether I like you or not. That is backward conversation. I, I didn't learn discipline in America. I didn't learn to follow the law in America. I learned it from Jamaica, where I spend most of my time. That is where I learned discipline. And I brought that discipline here. And when I go to an interview, when I go to conduct myself at work, I have to, when I went to the interview, I went to 3 different persons to see if I was qualified to be competent to do the job. And so what I am saying is that our Prime Minister in the future, going forward, will have to go to a select committee, reference of people to be cross-examined and to see if he's competent to handle and to do the job. And you were talking about discrimination. That is not discrimination. This is what I'm now learning. My friends calling me. They go to look at job at these hotels, and they're in their 40s, and they don't get the job, and they find 30 and 20 years old. That is discrimination, right?
No, but if the law is clear in terms of the conditions under which one can run for political office, that's number one. You have to look at that first,
Yes.
and not what we hear some people saying and what you're saying about putting somebody to sit down and in a test or in front of a panel, etc. If you, it's fine to do that kind of interrogation when you're on a path to accountability, when you're trying to hold someone accountable. Questions are asked, and this individual or these individuals must respond to the questions, must help our people to better understand why was something done or not done, how much of what was done, and how frugal was it, how beneficial was it, etc.
So you're saying to me that if you have the Prime Minister and the Minister conduct himself in a skullduggery manner, it must be laid down that the Prime Minister have the requisite skill and the power, etc., to say, hey, I got to fire you, I got to suspend you. The Constitution gives me the authority, and if I don't carry out
you don't need an explanation. If the evidence is there, the facts are there, the documentation, the regulation, the system, the processes, if all of those are in place, you follow through. You follow through because you should know what is supposed to be done or what is needed, and you should go ahead and do it. What is right, what is in the best interest of the country and the people or the constituency, however, depending on which level you're talking.
So what if I don't carry out the function?
Then it means that you are, what do you call it, recalcitrant. You are...
derelict of duty?
Yes.
Derelict of duty?
Yes, man.
So, so you see, that's why we like talking, because the reason why personally like talking to you, because you educate and you inform, and that's how we take our cue.
There you go again. No more.
That is
yes.
That is how we learn from you. So when we sit back as Jamaicans and see what is going on in a beloved country that we love so much, and say, listen, what is going on here, Mr. Prime Minister? That's not the way you function. That's not the way you run government. But I have something to say to you before I go. I went to a juvenile facility a couple months ago, and I went there to observe certain things at the juvenile facility. Are you there?
Yes.
And I'm talking about boys who are 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm talking about some bad hombre. I'm talking about some hombre who are murderer. I'm talking about when I say bad.
I went to a juvenile facility myself, but I didn't see or hear that kind of behavior. So I don't want to get started on that now, but it does speak to mental health issues too. Yeah.
So these hombre are bad. So, I was in there and, seeing them and, and I agree with the Minister of Education. And this is Jamaica problem. And I'm no cheerleader for Favorite. What's her name? Favorite Williams or whatever. I'm no cheerleader for her. So let me make it absolutely clear.
No, you don't need to put in any disclaimers. You desiderata say in desiderata it says speak your truth and speak it clearly.
That is why I don't like the way you program, because you like to teach. So, and you like to rebuttal. By the way I learned. So anyway, the time has come in Jamaica to send the message. Don't let any human, because we are part of the signature of the UN, whatever, charter, whatever. Give these boys, once the clear evidence is there, this is a fact. Give them 20 years in prison so they don't walk out within 5 years and tell them friends, oh, I can kill somebody, I can get cancer and kill somebody and go to prison and spend 5 years. So when people ask me, Mark, why do you think like that? I said, this is Jamaica, where I spent 42 years in Jamaica. This is Jamaica. I know Jamaica. I know all these boys think. So we have to send a message to them. Say, listen, if you commit murder and the judge finds you guilty, then the penalty is you're going to 20 years, not 5 years. You come out and you walk and you start talk about your shot and all that something there. You understand what I'm saying, Dervan?
Whatever the law allows for in responding to these situations, so let it be.
Exactly. So I don't want anybody when I finish with Dervan say, boy, Dervan, no have no heart to these boys. Or Dervan, I'm not talking nonsense. Whatever the law said, so let it be. Dervan, if I don't talk to you, I enjoy my 4th of July. May God guide you. And I look forward to talk to you again in the future, my brother.
All right. Thanks for the call. Take care.
God bless.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Yes, I was at a juvenile center some time ago, and the boys were as normal as ever on the face of it. And they seem to have that promise in their eyes. When you really look into the eyes, there's a lot of promise there. And it's a matter now of, obviously they're still quite young, and therefore there is some room for some kind of corrective behavior that could bring those youngsters to a different place. So we're not saying just lock them up and throw away the key. There should still be hope for those, as opposed to another set, which we'll perhaps talk about another time. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I just called to respond to the gentleman who spoke a while ago. He was all over the place, and his ideas even don't make sense. I can, if you are going to give tests to prime ministers, what would be on the paper? Because you said they're going to do a written exam. So what is it they are going to put on the paper?
Good question.
And the next thing is, tell me which country we have anything like that.
I can't think of any.
That's what I'm saying. I think he should keep his head to his country and leave us alone. That's one. The next thing is, you don't want a bigger idiot than the president we're gone out of power the other day.
Is it the individual who is idiotic or the behavior that is idiotic?
Behavior. Not that the one is ruling now, you know. Not the one I'm ruling and talking.
Okay.
Right. So I think he should try and correct for them the problem over there. Imagine when you have a football match or a cricket match or a tennis match and so on. When people done and they end the match, you go and shake your opponent and say congrats.
That's a gentlemanly thing to do.
Yes, sir. And I would suggest the same thing should happen with politics and election. At the end of the day, you go and grace, what do you call it? Gracefully defeat, take defeat. What, gracefully or something like that?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
I'm going to shake your opponent's hand and say congratulations.
And to be magnanimous.
So, especially leaders and prime ministers and presidents, you would expect that even more so than Manchester United playing. And you have countries that is supposed to be civilized. And at the end of the election, the loser, say no lose fear, are going to mash up the parliament, literally going there. And so on. That is supposed to be civilized. So I think this is their country that need correction and so on more. And I think he should take the lago time more than to look at the speck in our own. Okay. So I don't know what he is saying about test. And the next thing is this: I don't agree that. I heard somebody say about with ministers of government, maybe they could have requirement in terms of education, although I don't support it. But in terms of MP, I don't agree that they should pass no test and have no education, because some of the most qualified MP are some of the most stupidest and wicked and something like that. A lot of the damage that's been done in politics in Jamaica is because of people with PhD and things like that. Guns have been distributed in areas, and it is alleged that people do it and look at garrisons and those things. So I don't see where I think it's discrimination if you want people to have look at the academic side as long as the person can read and write.
Yeah, what really should matter is the quality of socialization that we engender as far as our people are concerned. We try to arm or to provide our people with all the tools necessary to be productive citizens.
Yes.
And then everything else flows from that. One moment, please.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs-controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
When I search, my face looks proud. I could still.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Here's a call coming in from Florida. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. How are you doing?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
Well, I guess I'm in the same shoes, but the only difference is, last week I was trying to get in touch with you, but I also learned that you was down by the VM place, and by the time I tried to get there, you already gone.
My late mother would say, Chairman, you're a bad bargain.
No, I just thought I get the news late.
You get the news late. Anyway, no man, it's all good. It was good to have been at the VM office. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's somebody I know, good Miss Rochester.
That's good. Good person to know.
Yeah. So what about? I heard that it was after catching the thing that go down by the city Titanic. Is it true? Because they say it's only a millionaire going that.
So that's where you were?
No, you was on.
In that case, it must be your ghost that's speaking then.
Okay, well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but a serious note now.
Yes.
I hear someone was, I think Mark was talking about education for politicians. Now, when them say man educated, especially when I'm going on politics, it's just general education and have to study something about it before you enter it.
Well, everything is relative. The fact of the matter is that, which is why we keep going back to the point of what really matters is how we socialize and educate and equip and arm our people with the requisite skills and techniques that are necessary in this day and age. And if we were living in another time, well, it would be according to that period of time. Once we are able to do that, and equally with a high level of equity right across the board, then it means we would have made a tremendous move towards a society of excellence, quite frankly. So if you have the majority of your citizens benefiting from the resources that are key in positioning our people in such a way that they are able to manage not only themselves and their families, but play their part in managing the affairs of this country. That's really where we should be looking.
Well, I like that last part I said, because most politicians, especially in Jamaica, they will come around when election draw near and give you all the promises and what they're gonna do for you. And after election gone, say they win, you never see them again until the next 5 years. You don't want people monitor them and make sure this don't happen again.
Well, that's the people's fault. If the people must take responsibility for that kind of laxity. It's the people's fault then. That's really what it boils down to. Because the people have a duty to hold the leaders of this country accountable. And we ourselves should not escape accountability either.
I can understand, but the thing is, well, the only thing we can hold them accountable for is if they don't live up to their promise, then we vote them out. But before we reach that stage, you don't have measures in place to make sure, say, if you promise, someone will come say, you're going to build a training center, and you don't build a can run again.
Yeah, well, you're talking now. You're talking now about the constitutionality of the, in terms of the actions that would be taken, etc., and that would be properly dealt with again in those sessions that are taking place now. Constitutional reform, it would have to be amended at that level or changed at that level. Other than that, yes, it's the same old, same old.
Okay, and then we're going to live like that until we are dead and gone.
Mm-hmm. So we have to decide what we really want.
Well, I don't know we're going to get it out of the mind of the politicians and stop tricking the people.
No, man, nobody can trick you without your permission. They need your permission in order to trick you. Anybody.
Okay.
So you have to be. You have to be smart. Go ahead.
You mentioned about like the juvenile, sometimes when them get in problem with the law. Now, when them send you to a juvenile place where they arrest a juvenile, they learn trade, I guess, some skills.
They do.
When they return to
They do.
Okay.
We have seen that. They really try with them. The ones that we have seen, the ones who I've been exposed to.
And they turn to be productive citizens.
I can't say I have followed them on some kind of continuum to be able to come to that conclusion. But on the
But why
face of
I
it,
say,
go ahead.
if you is a repeat offender, that mean you go back in there, that mean you don't learn.
It's
From a
called
mistake.
recidivism. That's what they call that. The it 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 really, each individual has to be treated on his or her own merit. It can't be a one size fits all. Everybody is different.
Yeah, I take
People,
responsibility for your behavior.
yes, that is key. Taking responsibility for one's behavior, but the socialization is critical. Critical.
Probably sometimes, I don't know if you see it this way. Sometimes if the treatment is so rough in there, you're scared of going back. So probably, I don't know why some people keep going back.
It speaks to a condition that perhaps the psychiatrists and the psychologists might be best to help such a youngster or any individual to work their way mentally and otherwise out of that space.
So the government have those people in place to work with them.
Well, they don't. We don't have enough of those specialists in the system, as I understand it. I heard that in the news not so long ago.
So you don't train them?
There's a shortage now. So yes, that would be an area that we have to try and improve, because mental illness is real.
So you don't have a minister who in charge of that area?
Yeah, depends on which. There is the Department of Correctional Services, which falls under national security. And there's also Justice, Ministry of Justice, and there are court appointed or court related individuals whose services are employed from time to time, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, so where we go from here, because we can't keep saying that is enough and nothing is done to get people in the system.
Well, we have to start where we stand, as the poem by Burton Braley says. Start where you stand. So you start by doing an audit of where you are right now. What's the situation right now? Where are we right now? Where are we coming from? Where are we heading? Etc. It takes a lot of thought, a lot of planning, a lot of execution. But
then what I notice, I say this administration don't do anything to improve the situation. The other one coming going accuse the one who gone. That's still no improvement.
Yeah, well, by his deeds shall a man be known. And you can take sleep mark debt, as my late mother would say. So it's if we find that there are individuals within an organization, within an institution, a ministry, a family, a company, etc. Once we realize that that person is falling short, we can either choose to put in some kind of remedial process or system to help the individual, if it depending on the nature of the issue or issues that the individual has, or if the individual is in his or her sound mind and body, as attested to by one who is competent to do so, then other actions will need to be taken. like separation from the organization or the individual or the institution.
The best thing you should do, get the minister on the line and let the people call in and put a point to him and say him could come up with some creative idea. But him just sitting in the office and talking and talking, not going to work nowhere.
Yeah, well, this is where you have to have the level of awareness that is going to help to direct you in terms of the steps that you take or the actions that you take. So it is.
Okay, so it is for now.
Uh-huh.
All right, Master, you're loud and clear.
Thanks for the call. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. We haven't read any messages, have we? Let's see. Let's run through some messages quickly. Randy, oh yes, Randy told us about the app. I think we read these already. Velta Wilson, yes, we read that one. Oliver Masters asking, is Power 106 going to be down all day? It has been down all morning. No farm talk, says Oliver Masters. Sorry to hear that, Oliver Masters. Let's see. It does take away from other work that one needs to do, but we're doing it anyway. So we're just pausing for a moment to bring up the camera on this device to direct the lens to the screen of this laptop where we're taking a picture now, and we're going to forward this picture to the WhatsApp group, which is comprised of key individuals in concert with the engineers and other technical staff. So we're selecting WhatsApp now and looking to send this picture with the message from Oliver Masters to the WhatsApp group that speaks to transmission for TV and radio. So we have sent it off. We hope you get a favorable response and the matter is settled. Take care.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 7543714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is
3:45.
The Wallace Family presents Reunion 2023 under the theme, bringing together all the generations. Come enjoy a weekend of fun, frolic, and relaxation throughout the parish of St. Anne. Saturday, June 24 to Monday, June 26. Celebrations include a family day, bus tour, church service, and much more. Part proceeds in aid of the Quickly Pole Primary School. That's the Wallace Family Reunion. All family and extended family are welcome. For further information, call 876-867-2508. One love.
Calling all motorists. Do you know the rules of road safety? The do's and don'ts of motorcycle operation. Join Power 106 FM for a live outside broadcast this Sunday, June 25, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for coverage of the National Road Safety Council's Motorcycle Training and Outreach Program at the Green Island High School in Hannibal. Learn techniques to protect yourself and other road users. And hear some of the latest strategies to improve traffic flow on the nation's road network. This broadcast is brought to you by the National Road Safety Council, NRSC. Make road safety a way of life. That's a live broadcast from the National Road Safety Council's Motorcycle Training and Outreach Program at the Green Island High School in Hannibal this Sunday, June 25, only on Power 106 FM.
Let's drink to the uncounted. Let's think of the wandering millions who need us
A member of the team, the technical team, telling us that the issue with Power 106 has been resolved. Oliver Masters, we're being told by a member of the technical team that the issue with Power 106 has been resolved. Thank you very much to Roland Booth and the team. Let's clear some more of the messages here. I wonder if this caller has any evidence to substantiate his claim that St. James has the most well-funded, best organized gang. When people make claims like this, they should be challenged. Well, we asked the question. That's why we asked the question. And we went as far as to say, if you're going to be giving us that kind of data, that kind of information, surely you're failing your country, our country, because that information should be provided to the authorities who are able to take it to another level. Thank you for your message, Jermaine from St. James. This one, where does it start? Mr. Malcolm, how will we get the government representatives and government offices to answer the phones and respond to the citizens' correspondence? Is it a special set of people who get answers? No, the people have to insist that they get quality service. No two ways about it. And if we have to ramp it up, ramp it up. So if we're having an issue with a customer service representative and it's not being resolved, then we find a supervisor. Still an issue, keep going up the chain. And if you have to go to an agency or entity that has responsibility for these matters, like the Consumer Affairs Commission or the Office of Utilities Regulation, let's go and pursue those paths. Lloyd says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. We're not getting Power 106 from last night. Can you check and see, please check and see? Oh, well, we can only forward your message again to that group. And let's include the listeners' contact details so that the technical team representative can in fact make contact and seek additional information. Ellerid says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I live in a country that has colors like Jamaica to represent these parties, and I have never seen any MP or MPP wear any of those colors. I only see a party color on street side or a lawn only during election time, and after election night, they disappear. Yeah, well, it's this business of political party symbols has been with us for some time, and apparently a lot of us gravitate towards it and position themselves in such a way so as to give the impression that this is the way to go. If you really love and support your party, wear your party colors as often as you can, and especially at election time. And we have been doing that for some time in this country. The problem is when it gets out of hand and people come to blows over colors. Because none of us invented colors. We didn't invent the colors. The colors were around long before us. And this thing where if you're wearing a particular color shirt or pants or shorts or socks, then it's an indication of your political leaning. People should be free to wear whatever color they want to wear. shouldn't matter. We need to grow out of those, in some instances, childlike behavioral patterns. Miss Dell says, good evening, Mr. Dervan. Good afternoon to you, Miss Dell. I want to ask Mac, President Biden sat which tests? Which test? Why these people stay where they are? Tell us how to run our country. Since year, America have 300 odd mass shootings. That is true. Pay attention to that, because you all will soon have to come back right here where you all run away from. Well, nothing is wrong with anybody moving from one jurisdiction to another, as long as they are doing so legally and lawfully. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. You'd be amazed at how many things would not have been or wouldn't occur ever at all had it not been for the movement of people, and in some instances, certain people, and the kind of changes that these individuals have caused or made. Let's not underestimate the value of immigration. And the rest of this message, everywhere in this world, there are problems. Mac, is America perfect? Asks Miss Dell. Thank you very much for your message, Miss Dell. I think we have a few more, do we? Let's see if these are, no, not relevant really. Let's go to this one. No, I think we have covered. This was yesterday from Cuban in Georgia. And someone saying, I'm not a Wallace, but will be there. And that's in reference to the Wallace family reunion, which is happening this weekend in Prickly Pole, at the Prickly Pole Primary School in Prickly Pole, St. Anne. We trust that you will all enjoy the reunion. All the best. To clear some more messages, Norman Hines in St. Thomas, good afternoon to you. Randy Williams says, Dervan, you know that's how Jamaica run. Yes, he's speaking the truth. It was never an issue about speaking the truth. And that was never the issue. The issue has to do with how much we, as we put it in Jamaican parlance, will run up our mouth a lot. And in all of that, some of us actually have information, but we're spewing the information in the wrong places. And so it's not helping us. Why tell us about it anyway? It's not making a difference. And he says it's who knows who. Well, if that's the kind of society you want to live in, well, go ahead and do what that kind of society does. But if you're trying to help us to achieve otherwise, then you might want to make it more obvious than you are. Gray Shim says, holding my breath. Not sure what that is in reference to. Randy Williams says, Jamaica needs about 7,000 more officers. For how many years have we been hearing that? We always need more because of the attrition rate. Officers are retiring. Sadly, officers die and people move on. So there are all kinds of reasons why those numbers fluctuate. So we will always hear about Jamaica needing more officers, needing more doctors, needing more nurses. Because at some point, people move on and things happen and Sadly, people die. Fayweller says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. I'm here listening. Good to have you on board, Fayweller. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine is tuned in as usual. He says, good afternoon, Dervan. Thank God for life. Shout out to all the listeners from across the world. And he says, happy Sabbath to all the Sabbath keepers listening in Jamaica when it comes from Ricardo. And Audrey Smith says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere, tuning in from Cardiff, South Wales, visiting my niece for a few days. Well, enjoy your time in Cardiff in South Wales, Audrey Smith. Randy Williams is asking, what is wrong with these people? Where else in the world people asking for qualifications? And that's in reference to what was said by, what's his name now? The caller earlier on. That was Mac. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. YouTube is burning up right now. Let's see. Donovan says, Mr. Malcolm, we're calling on the relevant authorities to address the poor road condition in the parish of St. Thomas. We need immediate attention, says Donovan Campbell. And he goes on to say, some of the roads are very bad. Sometimes residents have to come together and patch a few of the potholes. Not sure where we are now on the index, but I need to get an updated copy of The Economist book, pocket, The Economist pocketbook in numbers, which told us a long time ago that we're in the top 10. We have been in the top 10 for a little while, the top 10 countries which have the most roads per square kilometers. And at the rate at which we are going, we perhaps will never, ever be able to sufficiently satisfy the people as far as infrastructure and in particular roads are concerned. This country of 2.8 or so million people, and we have more roads than England, France, and a host of other countries. So we need to be strategic if we are to get a hold of that situation once and for all. And he says some of the roads are very bad. Sometimes residents have to come together and patch a few of the potholes. Asha Ash in London says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in from London, England. Welcome, Asha Ash. Devon White says, it is the removal of the foreign exchange regulation that escalated. And you're talking about deregulation. Maybe that's what you're talking about. That would have played a role as well. And he says that caused this rapid increase between 1979 and 1992. One moment, please.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
So Devon did some research and is sharing us with some information further to a previous discussion. So he says the removal of the foreign exchange regulation that escalated, that caused that rapid increase between 1979 and I think he says he meant 1989. So between 1989 and 1992, from $5.50 in 1989 to $25 in 1992, when food prices increased rapidly 4 or more times that year. Thank you very much, Devon, for doing some homework and sharing the information with us. We appreciate it. Thank you. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello, are you there? Hello. All right, Sean and his problematic phone once again. So try us again, Sean. The phone is still not functional. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Lloyd Berry, aka King Lloyd, says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Yes, Mr. Dervan, it's back up now. Thank you a lot. I'm now back on track. All right, let's share your response with the technical team. All right, let's do that right now. Let's do this forward and send it back to the transmission TV radio group. All right, thank you very much to the technical team as well for playing their part. Here's Sean trying again on his problematic phone. Yes, Sean. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. You called. Go ahead, please. All right. The problem still hasn't been resolved then. I'm not sure. Why is it that your phone, I don't know, Sean, it's been like that for a long time now. What's the problem there? There are times we can hear you and at other times, or most of the time, we're not hearing you. I don't know if that is unique to your phone, but it's quite problematic. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:04. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:04. 现在几点了？4:04 分. 4 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Richard Oldacre says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. How you like how the politicians are turned super millionaire out of the people, and the people can hardly afford basic food items? Well, the situation is such that it's almost damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because here you have a situation where there are particular systems in place that deal with, and processes that deal with the remuneration of public servants. And those who make the decisions at the operational level have a duty to follow through on those decisions. However, having said that, the leaders are in a position, if they, whether out of a sense of morality or related concerns, to step back to say, hold on a moment there, what's happening here? No, hold on. Because it's like a flood of water coming, and you're trying to stop that. And that flood of water is of all that has happened since the onset of these elevated salaries. And so the way in which these matters are dealt with will naturally reflect on those who occupy positions of influence. This is why we are encouraged to do what is right. Do the right thing. And our socialization should teach us what is the right thing. And we should know what the right thing is. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. It doesn't seem right. How do we deal with this situation? It can be done. It can be dealt with. And so people work and people must be paid. There's no question about that. And people must be held accountable. We're not there yet, apparently, in terms of, for example, performance-based pay. So we have some ways to go in that regard. But in the final analysis, leadership must lead, and with a level of measurement and a sense of morality, honesty, integrity, trust, truth, etc., etc. And if we are guided along those lines, then wisdom will shine through. How about that? Richard Oldacre says, good afternoon. Oh, we read that part of the message already. And then he goes on to say, big Jill oil, quarter of bread, ounce of fish. That's the poor man's grocery list. Well, it did us no harm at the time. Those of us who could only afford big Jill of oil, quarter. I remember you go to the shop, big Jill oil, quarter of bread, and an ounce of best butter. Big Jill, I'll never forget it. Big Jill of oil, quarter of bread, and an ounce of best butter. And little morsels here and there. Keep the body going. And as we go along, we might get better, do better. We go to school, we learn, we earn, and we live. Thank you for your messages, Richard Oldacre. But what we've always said is whatever we do, we, apart from having a duty as the state, having a duty to see to the best interest of our people and our country, we must, of necessity, pay even closer attention to the most vulnerable in our society. If we don't do anything else, let us ensure that we are seeing to the needs of the most vulnerable in society. If we fail to do that, then what might happen is that those who are doing well initially will eventually start to crumble for more than one reason. Some kind of crumbling will start based on some of the choices and decisions that we make. We must always, the people must always be at the center. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. We're in the business of serving people. It's all about the people. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello? That person got tired of holding. Hello? Are you there? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hearing you now.
I received my pension book for June to November.
Well, we're delighted to hear that.
But there is no new rate in it, Mr. Malcolm.
No what?
New rate.
No new rate.
Yes.
You are.
Rate that come on the 1st of April.
Oh, or is the one that took effect on the 1st of June? It's not the 1st of June?
No, it's the 1st of April. It comes effective.
Okay. And there's supposed what was the amount? What's the amount by which the pension was supposed to go up?
72%, I think.
72%?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds reasonable. You wanted more than that?
That's not what I am telling you that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't come in the pension with Mr. Malcolm.
So the new rate is 75%?
Yes, it don't come in the book.
But it's not in. Is it not in the book or not in effect yet?
The rate came in effect the 1st of April, and the new pension book, I get it simply expecting to see the new rate. But when I called the NRS office, I was told that the new rate, I wouldn't be getting it until December.
Oh, I see what you mean. And this was the first time you were hearing this?
Yes.
Oh, I see what you mean. So
that is when this new pension book finished.
Okay.
And that is
so
December, the new one would come out.
I see what you mean. So you think you can manage until then?
No, Mr. Malcolm. It's unreasonable.
Oh dear. And see, this is what I was talking about just now. It's one thing to be able as a Jamaican to find food, shelter, clothing, and everything else, and you're all right. It's another thing when those who are in a position where they have less resources have to struggle and might run into difficulties. That's what we're talking about. We have to, that safety net is critical. Critical.
Mr. Malcolm,
yes.
We wait so long to get it.
I know.
Until I'm showing you that you must wait actually a year again.
Well,
I think it is so unfair.
Well, a few. How many months? What month are we in now? June, July, August.
June, Mr. Malcolm.
Okay. Oh Lord, yes, yeah, about 6 months. Asking you to hang on.
And I'm a sick person. I cannot even walk. Every month I have to get medication from the pharmacy.
Sorry, hold one moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Jamaica, an extraordinary place with pioneering people. Unfold some intriguing events since Jamaica's independence in the pages of the souvenir book, Best of Jamaica. Now available at The Gleaner. Buy a copy today. The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
And when I search, a faceless fire.
Thanks for holding. Yes, the only thing is I don't see them making an adjustment for one pensioner, which is unfortunate in terms of your situation. Chances are it's not going to happen that way, where they make an exception for you, because then that will start what is called a precedence, which means others are going to expect the same kind of treatment, which would be going against the plan by the state, which was worked out already, apparently. So that's the only thing. So I don't know. Maybe are you a member of a church?
Yes, sir. But I cannot attend the church right now.
Yeah, well, now, I mean, if that is the case, now is the time that you need the church family. to be to be supportive in your time of need as well. I know from time to time the churches take these what do they call them, care packages, take care packages to senior citizens. There are churches that do that. In other words, in instances where you have little or no control over the situation as to when you ultimately get your increased pension, the hope is that some individual, institution, organization, family member, etc., might be able to tithe you over until such time.
Mr. Malcolm,
Yes.
we cannot assure we're going to live until December, and I'm so sick.
Yeah, well, we're not sure we're going to live in the next second, much less the next minute or the next hour. And that's just a fact of life. But what we would suggest at this stage, if you want to take it a step further, by taking transportation to go down to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and explaining yourself to them. As I said, yes.
Please, I'm living away in Westmoreland.
All right, what would you want us to do? What would make you feel better right now?
I don't know what you can do, and I don't know what them will be able to do, but I need some money. I was expecting to get this raise. To waited so long for it.
All right. Well, what we could do is to take your contact details off air, and if there's anyone out there who'd like to give you some money to tithe you over from now until December, then we'll be happy to share their information with you, and then you can decide how you want to proceed. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, well, that would be my solution at this stage. Those listening to us at home and abroad would recognize that you're having challenges in that regard and might be moved to help you. And so, as I said, we could take your contact details off air. And if we get any calls from those who wish to help, whether with a care package or other resources, we'll be happy to put you on to them. Because I don't think at this stage the Ministry of Labor and Social Security or the Ministry of Finance, whoever is the ultimate decision maker there, I don't see them making this, going against their planned move as announced as far as December is concerned. It's not going to be changed right now.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm.
So hold the line, please. Let's take
Mr.
your...
Malcolm.
Yes?
I will call you back Monday and give you the details.
All right, no problem. We'll listen out for you. But hold the line in the meantime, though. Hold on, please. Let's take your name and number off air.
You're listening to Power 106 FM.
Thank you very much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Now, personally speaking, I wish I had money. Not for me, personally speaking. I wish I had money and other resources to be able to help all those who need assistance. I genuinely wish that were the case. Seriously. Just it sometimes just feels, it's so hard. You feel helpless sometimes because there are so many people in need and the need is great. So what can we do? We can do what we can do with whatever we have at this stage in our lives and help whomever we can. The song says, if I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Jamaica lose 2-0 in CAC Women's Beach Volleyball. That's on the sporting side. On the other side, Black River jailbreak spurs divisional management changes. We need to get serious, even more serious, when it comes on to these jailbreaks. We have had too many of them over the years. Too many. The story is the High Command of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, has made several management changes in the St. Elizabeth Division. Of course, why not? By all means. Following the escape of 8 inmates from the Black River lockup on Monday, somebody must be held accountable. In a media release on Friday afternoon, it announced that the divisional head, Superintendent Kenneth Chin, has been reassigned to Area 3 headquarters. Deputy Superintendent of Police Coleridge Minto will immediately assume duties as commanding officer for the division. Changes have also been made to the post of administration officer, the operations officer, as well as to other supervisory posts at the station level. These changes will facilitate a thorough and unimpeded investigation into the circumstances leading to the escape of the inmates as the investigation progresses. 2 JCF members have been interdicted pending further inquiries, the High Command explained. And just so, we like to bring everybody into the loop, right? So just so you are on board, and I usually, when we use certain terms to make reference to certain developments, we sometimes leave out some people, if you get what we're saying. So we hear about people being interdicted. It's what is described as an authoritative prohibition, a court order forbidding an act, or otherwise a negative injunction, and so on and so forth. You can Google that. INDE I beg your pardon. Something else just popped up here. Right. All right, let's just go back a bit. Right. So the two Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF members, 2 JCF members have been interdicted, INTERDICTED, interdicted pending further inquiries, the High Command explained. It added that the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau is leading a comprehensive management review of the division. The relevant video footage has been secured and is being reviewed, while our Scenes of Crime unit has visited the location and collected essential evidence. This will allow us to assess the underlying causes of the escape and evaluate the degree of adherence over time to JCF policies and guidelines, it stated. Preliminary reports suggest the inmates managed to escape from custody by cutting through a ventilation grill at the back of the cell. And the escapees are 31-year-old Oral Cole from Comfort Hall, Manchester, and 34-year-old Richard Brown from Middle Quarters, 38-year-old Alric Hutchinson from Brighton District, and 34-year-old Dean Simpson from Turner Top, all in St. Elizabeth. The others are 34-year-old Anwood Hines from Maroon Town and 25-year-old Javon Sims from Copperwood, both in St. James, 30-year-old Kenneth Stewart from Beacon Hill, and 29-year-old Damar Williams from Gravel Heights in Spanish Town, both in St. Catherine. Also trending at this time, courtesy of the Jamaica-Gleaner.com website, bus conductor arrested, driver being sought over corporate area police chase. The police have taken a bus conductor into custody and are now searching for the driver who led them on a chase throughout sections of the corporate area this afternoon. Cops said a member of the Jamaica Defense Force, JDF, raised an alarm after he saw students reportedly smoking on the bus as it drove along Slipe Road in downtown Kingston with music blaring. The lawmen signaled the bus to stop, but the driver sped off. The chase reportedly went up and down Slipe Road, into Crossroads and onto Maresco Road before the bus was cornered near Connolly Road. According to the police, along with the bus driver and the conductor, students were seen darting from the vehicle with uniforms reportedly undone. After a search was conducted, marijuana and other smoking paraphernalia, as well as condoms, were reportedly taken from the bus. Oh my goodness. The conductor was subsequently found hiding in bushes and arrested by the police. The bus reportedly plies the downtown Kingston to Lawrence Tavern route. Sounds like Sodom and Gomorrah all over again. Oh dear. Lord help us and our children. Where are we? Education State Minister calling on all of us to protect our children. Most PEP students placed at preferred schools. So PEP results are out already. The Ministry of Education is reporting that 85.8% of students who sat the 2023 primary exit profile PEP exams were placed in a school of their choice. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams made the disclosure at a press conference at the ministry this morning. Williams said 4,134 students, or 11.5%, were placed at a secondary school within a 10-mile radius of their primary schools. Similarly, 566, or 1.57%, were manually placed at a school in proximity to their home addresses. The Education Ministry said arising from changes made to the administration of PEP due to the COVID-19 pandemic, students in 2023 returned to the format of sitting all the components of the high school placement exam. More in a moment.
106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Me grew up as my granny save her money under her mattress. What like a old time something. That's where I save my money in the bank. And become a one. Buy a little house, but also saving a building society. We have to be smart with how we save our money.
So what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in. Let me tell you something. With the JDIC deposit insurance scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at jdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me. To the hard-working people, and let's drink to the lowly of birth.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Que hora es en español? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在几点了？5点加20九分. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Horror 106 FM. Still looking at the data coming out of PEP, the Primary Exit Profile exams, to assess students and determine their final scores. The Ministry of Education used the results of the Grade 5 performance task done in June 2022, the Grade 6 ability test done in February 2023, performance task in mathematics and language arts done in March 2023, and the curriculum-based test, 4 components, administered in April 2023. The Ministry of Education said 36,105 students were registered for PEP. Education Ministry said 36,105 students were registered for PEP, of which 18,452 were males and 17,653 were females. Some 31,798 of the students were from public schools, while 4,307 were from private institutions. Noting that the PEP results came 2 weeks earlier than what obtained last year, the Education Minister charged that this highlights the competence of the system. It was outlined that girls outperformed boys in mathematics and language arts, while boys did better in science and social studies. So we're learning a little more of the matrices as far as these PEP numbers are concerned. Would love to get a copy, a full document of the exams. Let's see if we can get one. In the meantime, thank you so much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's see. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida says, Sir Malcolm, if any of those police are involved, they must be sanctioned with the most severe penalty. Thank you very much for your message, Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida. There are no two ways about it. We have a duty to carry out our responsibilities, and where we fail, there are consequences. It's just a fact of life. And we all have to face those situations at some time or another in our lives. Let's clear some more of these messages on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. We're still clearing some other messages that are irrelevant at this time. All right, let's see what we have here now. The engineer team giving us the thumbs up there that things are back to normal. Vivette Malcolm, long-standing member of our team at Power 106 FM, is asking if the pensioner has any children or family members. Well, we would hope so. We would hope so. That's what family is for. We try to help each other and sustain each other as best as we can, circumstances notwithstanding. And Salah says, Dervan, the rapid devaluation of the dollar was caused by the foolishness of Mr. Siaga. If Mr. Siaga had just listened to the people and allowed the dollar to find its true value, we would never be in this situation. Mr. Siaga sells the Jamaica assets to hold the dollar at 5-1. He even sold the embassy building in London. He was warned time and time again not to do it. He did not listen, says Salah from Kingston. And goes on to say, Dervan, this government is totally confused. They pay the little raised and telling the people that they'll soon be getting the retroactive. Lies them telling they're not paying any retroactive. Salah from Kingston. Well, it has to come out in the wash at some point, Salah in Kingston. Can't hide anything again, not in these times. And, oh dear. So we are not able to reach the senior citizen then, because the information we have is that she doesn't know her number. So I don't know if she's still listening. If there's anyone who knows her and knows her number, please help her to remember her number. This one from Cornell says, my name is now Dervan, D-U-R-B-A-N. No, it's D-E-R-V-A-N. Cornell says, there, that's what he meant. He meant D-E-R-V-A-N. The Prime Minister promised in his budget speech that NIS pensioners would get an increase the 1st of April, and it never happened. But they raised their own before they announce it. Why are these politicians so wicked? Says Cornell. I have no doubt the politicians will tell you otherwise. But you have said what you have said, and we read your message. Here's another one. Good afternoon, Dervan. Just heard a person calling about not getting the NIS pension increase. I suffered the same fate, but was made to understand that checkbooks that were issued in June would not have the increase as these checks were already printed. The increase will be reflected when the new checks are issued in December, along with retroactive amount from the date of increase. We feel her pain and wait for December. Thank you very much for your message. And as we said, it's not going to be rolled back or changed or canceled. They're going to move forward with it as it is. And they wouldn't make a change just for one person in this instance for fear of setting a precedence. and everybody expecting the same treatment. But what we will maintain is that we must pay special attention to the most vulnerable people in our society, the less fortunate. We must, as a matter of course, see to the needs of the most vulnerable in our society. It does say a lot about us when we are able to do that. As the saying goes, we can tell a lot about a country by virtue of how it treats its senior citizens, its females or women, animals, etc. You get the point. Persons with disabilities, etc. Let us make sure our less fortunate, let's make sure those who are in need are getting the support to sustain them. Let's go back to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Speaking of the pension,
Yes.
It should have been effective. I don't work with the pension office. I'm a pensioner.
Yes.
And I've been chasing it up too.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been effective from the middle of April.
Yes.
However, it was deferred. Because I think that's what the Prime Minister had said after they made their grand announcement with what they were getting.
Mm-hmm.
April, May. So it's June that the ones going to the bank was effective. That is when mine reflected in June, the electronic ones.
Okay.
And the ones with the book would be done after.
Oh.
I just hope they are retroactive. But
yes, I think so. I think I read that.
You know the irony of it?
What's that?
23%, 30 whatever percent, and I think she mentioned 73. I think it was 76. But of what basic?
Yeah.
Because when I look at mine, I calculated it like it's a 27%. And it's nothing to write home about. Grateful because they said this was, I heard another minister said, pension increase over the last 5 years. Big deal. Because that's what they are supposed to do as a government for persons.
Yes.
Yeah? And 27%, I still give thanks. 37% of what basic. Hers, 73 or 76% of what basic. Because I know persons who get $7,000 a month for pension.
Oh dear.
And I tell you, what can you really do with that? You give thanks still, but a half bread is $2.50. A tin of milk from $3.40 to $3.60 when you add up that. And if you put meat, which is constantly raising every day, every week, they're being disenfranchised.
One moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
You want your life to get better, so make the effort. Build your wealth and your family's protection. JN Life First, cause anything can happen. Let's start life. JN Life First, yeah, man.
Insurance with an investment option.
JN Life First.
Who said you have to choose one? Better coverage as low as $800 a month. Contact JN Life today about Life Vest. Insurance from JN Life with an investment option. Powered by JN Fund Managers. Go to JNLifeinsurance.com to learn more.
Of the wandering millions who need leaders but get cameras instead, yeah.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:14. 现在几点了？5点加14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Good afternoon to Carol Boyth, who has joined us. Let's get back to the caller online. Thanks for holding. Please picked up where you left off.
No problem. This is one suggestion that I had made. Not that it could have been changed because this would have been casted in stone already. Why they mentioned it, how much they were getting.
Yes.
And we as a people have to pay back for the loan to pay them. It should, as I said, it should have been on the reducing balance, that you look about the interest of the elderly people first, the poor ones first, the pensioners, which would cover a broad system. You look at the upcoming generation with the next. The teachers who had put them there, because if there were no teachers to teach anybody, nobody would reach where they are. You understand? And it's just like they're not really concerned, and you're not getting the love and the feeling when you call the NIS or when you go there. So you're feeling it from both sides, in your pocket and mentally when you go. You know, so I really feel it for that lady, because being in the country, you have to pay for distance to get the things.
True.
And by the time she is through spending and everything else that happens in the country, how do you get help? The poor helping the help. Thank God the country people are a little bit more, what you call it now, friendly towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So I really hope by the time she gets it, she'll feel better. But man alive, I tell you, we're really feeling it. This is all I'm adding, Dervan, because I know time is limited.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you for the call.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida says, Dervan, I heard the new minister explaining about the payment of the increase and when it would be reflected. I don't think anybody's saying that that wasn't done, Albert. It's it was announced as such. Thank you very much for backing that up. And Devon says, then why is it after 3 and 6 months at $5.50 that it rapidly increased to $25 to $1 in just 3 years? So that's Devon White responding to Richard Oldacre. They're having a running conversation on YouTube. Keep those comments coming in. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Here is Sean for the third or fourth time today, trying to connect with us, but he has been having phone troubles. Let's see if those matters have been resolved. Yes, Sean. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Hold on. Hearing me now? Hearing me now? Loud and clear?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hi, Uncle Dervan. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm great so far. Who is the day going to pound? I only call you. How is the day going so far?
So far, so good.
I'm here taking it easy.
Good for you.
Can you give me advice, please? For me as a young person, sometimes I feel down. Can you give me a word of advice before I go, please?
Whenever you feel down, gravitate towards those things that make you feel good about yourself and make you feel happy.
Yeah. Okay. What I love, I am not a boring person. I am a very fun person. What I love to do for fun, I love to laugh. Sometimes I love to listen to music. You know, that kind of thing. I just like to have a time.
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. Nice talking to you, Uncle Dervan.
Thanks for calling.
Hold on, Hold on, please. Happy belated Father's Day to you, Uncle Dervan, even when it's gone already.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. Let's go out with let's see, we have a couple notes of nuggets of history for you. We don't have a lot of time, so quickly. William Penn signed a friendship treaty with the Lenape Indians in Pennsylvania on this day in 1683. A word on Pennsylvania. Sylvania is the Latin for woodland, from Sylvanus, who in Roman mythology was the god of woodlands, fields, and flocks. So Pennsylvania means Penn's woodland. The name does not honor the Quaker William Penn, as is generally believed, but his father, Admiral Sir William Penn. That's the same Admiral William Penn who, along with General Robert Venables, took Jamaica from the Spaniards in 1655. Another day we'll tell you some more about that. We've shared this bit before, I believe. And also, Admiral George Bridges Rodney celebrated another victory on this day in 1782, but it all started on March 28, 1782, when news came that Admiral Rodney had captured 5 French ships and sunk 1. The report also indicated that Count de Grasse and the artillery which the French had intended to use against Jamaica had been captured. On Wednesday, May 22, 1782, the fleet dropped anchor at Bluefields in Westmoreland before heading west on Saturday, May 22. About a month later, on this day in 1782, the fleet returned, bringing with it captured French ships, among them the Ramille, a 74-gun ship, and the Vie de Paris. Before this defeat of the French under Admiral de Grasse off Dominica in 1782, Admiral Rodney captured Martinique in 1762 and defeated the Spanish at Cape St. Vincent in 1780. Let's give you a couple more. Do we have time? The court, 1819, the Court of Common Council of the City and Parish of Kingston published a notice warning those disturbing the peace by acting improperly of the consequences of their behavior. The notice reads, whereas some evil-minded and depraved persons have lately disturbed the peaceable inhabitants of this city by throwing stones and brickbats and other dangerous articles at houses to the great risk and danger of their lives, a reward of $150 is offered to any person who can give evidence so as to lead to the conviction of such atrocious offenders. Stones and brickbats, 1819. And 1868, Christopher Latham Scholes received a patent for an invention that he called a typewriter. That's right, the word typewriter was coined by American Christopher Latham Scholes, S-H-O-L-E-S, who patented the first practical commercial typewriter on this day in 1868. Slow, difficult machines intended primarily for the blind had been invented as early as 1714. Scholes's typewriter had only capital letters. It was about as big as a desk, and it didn't have any correcting ribbon. The writer didn't need any, since the huge typewriter hid the paper inside itself so one couldn't see any typos until after the fact. A lot like when you forget to use the spell checker on your computer. Manufactured by Remington, it was owned by Henry James, Mark Twain, and Sigmund Freud, among other famous early experimenters. Mark Twain, in fact, typed The Adventures of Tom Sawyer on Scholz's machine in 1875, this being the first typewritten book manuscript, a fact that Twain kept secret in his lifetime because he didn't want to write testimonials or show the uninitiated how to use the machine. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Friday, the 23rd of June, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns Monday afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
I can see a swirling mass of grain. Let me tell you about it. Black and white. But you know they don't look real to me. No. In fact, they look so strange. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Raise your glass to the hard-working people. Let's drink to the uncounted heads. Let's think of the wandering millions who need leaders, but get gamblers instead. Yeah. When I search a faceless crowd, oh yeah. I can still see a man's brain. Yes, I can right now. Black and white. Oh, they don't look real to me. No, they don't. In fact, they look so strange. Yeah. Oh. Let's drink to the hard-working people. Let's drink of the lonely of birth. Let's drink to the rat-tatted people. Let's drink to the solitary air. Let's drink to the hard-working.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
Bye.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.